Senior Deputy Governor and Chairman of Institute Bank of Sri Lanka, Mr. Ranasinghe, Deputy Governor and Vice Chairman of the Institute Bank of Sri Lanka, Mr. Karunaratne, members of the Governing Council of the Institute of Bankers, CEOs, faculty, staff of the Institute, graduates, fellows, diploma holders, ladies and gentlemen. I am in fact deputizing the Governor of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka here on the occasion of the 25th convocation of the Institute of Bankers of Sri Lanka. I consider it as homecoming for me because I have been involved in the Institute of Bankers of Sri Lanka from 1977 in numerous capacities as an examiner, paper setter, chief lecturer in banking, director of studies, and finally as the chairman of the Institute of Bankers of Sri Lanka. I have seen how the Institute of Bankers has grown from a very small institution to one of the leading professional bodies in Sri Lanka today. In fact, when I visit many places, I still meet some of the former students of the Institute Bank of Sri Lanka who are presently holding very high positions in Sri Lanka as well as in other countries. The quality and the strength of the alumni which the Institute of Bankers of Sri Lanka has produced so far is a testimony of the achievements of the Institute over the last so many years. I therefore consider it as a privilege to be present here on the occasion of the annual convocation of the Institute of Bankers. I recall that the logo of the Institute of Bankers of Sri Lanka was in-house designed in 2006 by a team of internal staff of the Institute led by the then Director General, Mr. Gamini Sarath. The logo has very beautifully engraved the mission which the Institute of Bankers has to perform in Sri Lanka's banking industry. If you look at it, you will find there are two upturned U curves, one U curve crossing the peak of the other U curve and then rise into the sky. This shows one of the fundamental things that we see in life, in physics, in everything that we do, because it shows that whenever we make an investment, that investment would give us only a rate of return that would be rising at a decreasing rate over the time. This is common to everything we have in our life. Then it will come to a peak, then start falling, making it necessary for us to make a new investment. The second upturn U curve crossing the peak of the bottom one shows the mandate which the Institute of Bankers has got. That mandate is simply something that we have borrowed from physics called a quantum leap. The job of the Institute of Bankers of Sri Lanka is therefore to help the country's bankers to make this quantum leap. Because whatever we learn is subject to this diminishing marginal productivity, And therefore, it is necessary for us to undertake a lifelong learning if we are to survive in a very hostile industry, as well as if we are to prosper in our careers. So this is what the Bankers Institute has been doing in the past. This is exactly what the banking institution would be doing in the future with its state-of-the-art new building it has got in Borella. The mission for the Bankers Institute, as I see it in the future, would involve how to cope with the changing technology in the world and how to prepare the future bankers for the change in technology. This is because all of us are having a fear about technology, and if we don't embrace ourselves seamlessly to the emerging technology, we would become laggards while all others in the rest of the world would be moving faster, overtaking us. As a result, the Institute of Bankers will have to, in the future, make its curricula suitable for the future requirements rather than the requirements of the day. I have noted two different technological advancements that would be posing a challenge as well as a threat to bankers. One is the blockchain technology, the other one is the artificial intelligence. As you are all aware, the blockchain technology is the operating system that we got when the new cryptocurrency called the Bitcoin was introduced in 2009. Even though the Bitcoin has lost its glamour in the recent past because of the competition it got from a dozen of other digital currencies, as well as its unexpected clash in the global markets, the blockchain technology is going to stay with us forever. That is because it provides one of the important software packages not only for bankers but also for everybody, because its application has now been considered as useful to governments, healthcare services, education, banking, and many more. All the bankers in the world today are now moving into the blockchain technology. A recent study done by the Ireland-based Accenture Global Consulting has revealed by year 2022, with the adoption of the blockchain technology, the bankers would be able to save as much as 20 billion US dollars, which is a substantial sum. That is because the blockchain technology is a distributed public ledger where thousands of people participate in the conducting and completing transactions in a very transparent manner, and as a result, unlike many other software packages used by the banking industry, blockchain technology has been considered as a hacker-free technology. There are two reasons. One is that a hacker will not make enough money because he has to hack millions of standalone computers, which doesn't pay him to do the job. Second one is, given the current capacity of the hackers, the blockchain technology is beyond their reach. So as a result, the blockchain technology is being used by banks in an increasing numbers in order to provide a better service to their customers. Because it is transparent, it can help the customer know exactly what is happening inside the bank. Because right now, a bank is considered just like a black box where things are happening unknown to the customer. For example, if I make a request to the bank, I don't know what would be happening inside the bank, because only thing I know is at the end of the period, if they communicate with me, I know that my request has been processed. But with blockchain technology, I will be knowing it every minute, what is happening inside the bank, because it's transparent. So this is one of the biggest challenges for bankers in Sri Lanka, because when the rest of the world is moving towards blockchain technology, Sri Lankan bankers just cannot sit and remain satisfied with what they have been doing. So I believe that the Institute of Bankers of Sri Lanka would focus its future training with respect to this particular important aspects of the technological development. The second development is the artificial intelligence, where we have machines which have become smarter than even human beings, and it has become actually the future of the world that we have to live would be run by machines rather than by human beings. This is something that has been predicted by the Oxford economist Noah Yuval Harari, who wrote about the history of the future. Normally we know about the history of the past, but this particular historian has written a very beautiful book called Homo Deus. In that book, he has said the biggest threat which the Homo sapiens, who are called the man the wise, would be facing in the future would be coming from this artificial intelligence. The banks are increasingly moving to this field today. What would mean is all of us will lose our jobs, which is not a good thing. But of course it's a good thing, because when we allow the machines to do the routine work that the banks have been doing, we get sufficient time to think, sit down and think, decide on the policies, decide on the future, decide on the future course of the economies of our countries. Let the machines run the routine work, while the human beings can run the future thinking. So this is happening now in a big way, and lots of the major banks in USA have now adopted artificial intelligence in order to serve their customers. For example, they have developed new technologies like chat box, which involves a machine speaking to the customer just like a bank officer speaking to a customer today. With the new developments coming from Google, the Google Duplex is going to replace the traditional secretaries in the world. The banks have developed the chat box, and it's always a matter for me to, if I want to get anything from a bank, whether it is a banking service or whether it is some inquiry, whether it is about my account or whether it is whether I would get a loan from the bank, it would be a machine who would be communicating with me in the future. And those machines are smarter, more efficient, quicker, and they are in a position to do whatever they do within a few seconds. For example, the JP Morgan and Chase, the leading US banks, has found in order to process the contracts which it has entered with the borrowers, if it does it manually by using this so-called Homo sapiens, to process 12,000 borrower information, it will take some 396,000 hours. But the chat box has enabled the JP Morgan and Morgan Chase to complete the job within a few seconds. So naturally, bankers would go for that rather than hiring us. Now these are some of the important challenges that we are having. But remember, whenever a new technology is introduced, it scares us. I can recall in the central bank, when we introduced the word processing to central bank stenographers, all of them protested. They said they wanted manual typewriters to type. And it took long period of time for us to train them in the new word processing. Once they were trained, they demanded nothing but the modern technology that would enable them to produce better quality reports than what they had been producing on the manual typewriters. So it's a matter of overcoming the fear. It's a matter of training ourselves to the future. And it's a matter of thinking that future would be the best thing for us because it would involve more technology which would take most of the time that we spend today for routine matters and allow us to think where we would be able to build our brain. Now, this is the future mandate of the Institute Bank of Sri Lanka as depicted by the logo which was designed in 2006 in-house. I know that the passing the examinations for the Institute Bankers is not a very pleasant experience. The students have to study very hard because the Bankers Institute has never ever compromised with quality. It will not compromise its quality even in the future. So as a result, securing a pass at the examination of the institute is a real achievement made by all of you today. I therefore congratulate all of you for going through that hard work and coming out as the future bankers who would be, in fact, contributing not only to Sri Lanka's banking industry, but also to the global banking industry. So I congratulate all the diploma holders. I congratulate the senior bankers who would be getting the associate memberships and also the fellowship from the Institute of Bankers today. And also, I will thank all the parents who are present here who have facilitated their children to attain this high achievement through the Institute of Bankers of Sri Lanka. Now, this is the beginning. As the chairman has just mentioned, the end will start from today onwards. There are degree pathways where you will be able to get a degree from a recognized university. There are pathways to join master's degrees. I have met many of the former diploma holders of the Institute of Bank of Sri Lanka in the MBA programs at PIM, University of Colombo, and also the University of Sijawardhanapura, and therefore you have opened a vast blue ocean for yourself to explore. So therefore, congratulate yourself and think that you are the future of Sri Lanka. So thank you.